The book of Genesis, chapter 24, verse 1. The book of Genesis, chapter 24, verse 1. Genesis, the 24th chapter, and the first verse. A wife for Isaac. Abraham lived to be a very old man. The Lord blessed him in everything he did. Abraham's oldest servant was in charge of everything he owned. Abraham called that servant to him and said, "Put your hand under my leg. I want you to make a promise to me. Promise to me before the Lord, the God of heaven and earth, that you will not allow my son to marry a girl from Canaan. We live among these people, but don't let them marry a Canaanite girl. Go back to my country. Don't let him marry a Canaanite girl. Go back to my country, to my people, to find a wife for my son Isaac. Bring her here to him." The servant said to him, "Maybe this woman will not want to come back with me to this land. If that happens, should I take your son with me to your homeland?" Abraham said to him, "No, don't take my son to that place. The Lord, the God of heaven, brought me from my homeland to this place. That place was the home of my father and the home of my family, but he promised that this new land would belong to my family. May he send his angel before you so that you can choose a wife for my son. If the girl refuses to come with you, you'll be free from this promise, but you must not take my son back to that place." So the servant put his hand under his master's leg and made the promise. The search begins. The servant took 10 of Abraham's camels and left that place. The servant carried with him many different kinds of beautiful gifts. He went to Mesopotamia, to Nahor's city. In the evening, when the women come out to get water, he went to the water well outside the city. He made the camels kneel down at the well. The servant said, "Lord, you are the God of my master Abraham. Please show your kindness to my master by helping me find a wife for his son Isaac. Here I am standing by this well of water, and the young women from the city are coming out to get water. I will say to one of them, 'Please put your jar down so that I can drink.' Let her answer show whether she is the one you have chosen for your servant Isaac. If she says, 'Drink, and I will give water to your camels,' I will know that she is the right one. It will be proof that you have shown kindness to my master. A wife is found." Before the servant finished praying, a young woman named Rebekah came to the well. She was the daughter of Bethuel. Bethuel was the son of Milcah and Nahor, Abraham's brother. Rebekah came to the well with her water jar on her shoulder. She was very pretty. She was a virgin. No man had ever had sexual relations with her. She went down to the well and filled her jar. Then the servant ran to her and said, "Please give me a little water to drink from your jar." Rebekah quickly lowered the jar from her shoulder and gave him a drink. She said, "Drink this, sir." As soon as she finished giving him something to drink, Rebekah said, "I will also pour some water for your camels." So Rebekah quickly poured all the water from her jar into the drinking trough for the camels. Then she ran to the well to get more water, and she gave water to all the camels. The servant quietly watched her. He wanted to be sure that the Lord had given him an answer and he had made his trip successful. After the camels finished drinking, he gave Rebekah a gold ring that weighed a quarter of an ounce. He also gave her 2 gold arm bracelets that weighed 2 ounces each. The servant asked, "Who is your father? And there is a place in your father's house for me and my men to sleep." Is there a place, rather? Rebekah answered, "My father is Bethuel, the son of Milcah and Nahor." And she said, "Yes, we have straw and other food for your camels and a place for you to sleep." The servant bowed and worshiped the Lord. He said, "Praise be to the Lord, the God of my master Abraham. The Lord has been kind and loyal to him by leading me to his own people." Then Rebekah ran and told her family about all these things. She had a brother named Laban. She told him what the man had said to her. Laban was listening to her, and when he saw the ring and the bracelets on his sister's arms, he ran out to the well. There the man was, standing by the camels at the well. Laban said, "Sir, you're welcome to come in. You don't have to stand outside here. I prepared a room for you to sleep in and a place for your camels." So Abraham's servant went into the house. Laban unloaded his camels and gave them straw and feed. Then he gave Abraham's servant water so that he and the men with him could wash their feet. Laban gave them food to eat, but the servant refused to eat. He said, "I will not eat until I've told you why I came." So Laban said, "Then tell us," bargaining for Rebekah. The servant said, "I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has greatly blessed my master in everything. My master has become a great man. The Lord has given him many flocks of sheep and herds of cattle. He has much silver and gold and many servants. He has many camels and donkeys. Sarah was my master's wife. When she was very old, she gave birth to a son, and my master has given everything he owns to that son. My master forced me to make a promise to him. He said to me, 'You must not allow my son to marry a girl from Canaan. We live among these people, but I don't want him to marry one of the Canaanite girls. So you must promise to go to my father's country, go to my family and choose a wife for my son.' I said to my master, 'Maybe the woman will not want to come back to this place with me.' But my master said to me, 'I serve the Lord, and he will send his angel with you and help you. You will find a wife for my son among my people there. But if you go to my father's country and they refuse to give you a wife for my son, you will be free from this promise.' Today I came to this well and said, Lord God of my master Abraham, please make my trip successful. I will stand by this well and wait for a young woman to come here to get water. Then I will say, please give me some water from your jar to drink. The right woman will answer in a special way. She will say, drink this water, and I will also get water for your camels. That way I will know that she is the one the Lord has chosen for my master's son. Before I finished praying, Rebecca came out to the well to get water. She had a water jar on her shoulder as she went to get water from the well. I asked her to give me some water. She quickly lowered the jar from her shoulder and poured me some water. Then she said, drink this and I'll get some water for your camels. So I drank the water and she gave water to my camels. Then I asked her, who is your father? She answered, my father is Bethuel, the son of Milcah and Nahor. And I gave her the ring and the bracelets for her arms. I bowed my head and worshiped the Lord. I praised the Lord, the God of my master Abraham. I thanked him for leading me straight to the granddaughter of my master's brother. Now tell me, will you be kind and loyal to my master and give him your daughter? Or will you refuse to give her to him? Tell me what, so that I will know what I should do. Then Laban and Bethuel answered, we see that this is from the Lord, so there is nothing that we can say to change it. Here's Rebekah. Take her and go. Let her marry your master's son. This is what the Lord wants. When Abraham's servant heard this, he bowed to the ground before the Lord. Then he gave Rebekah the gifts he brought. He gave her beautiful clothes and gold and silver and jewelry. He also gave expensive gifts to her mother and brother. Then he said to his men, then he and his men had something to eat and drink, and they spent the night there. Early the next morning, they got up, and the servant said, now we must go back to my master. Rebekah's mother and her brother said, let Rebekah stay with us for a short time. Let her stay with us 10 days. After that, she can go. But the servant said to him, don't make me wait. The Lord has made my trip successful. Now let me go back to my master. Rebekah's brother and mother said, we will call Rebekah and ask her what she wants to do. They called her and asked her, do you want to go with this man right now? Rebekah said, yes, I will go. So they allowed Rebekah to go with Abraham's servant and his men. Her nurse also went with them. While Rebekah was leaving, they said to her, our sister, may you be the mother of millions of people, and may your descendants defeat their enemies, and take their cities. Then Rebekah and her nurse got on the camels and followed the servant and his men. So the servant took Rebekah and left. Isaac had left Beer Lahai Roi and was now living in the Negev. One evening he went out to the field to think. He looked up and saw the camels coming from far away. Rebekah also looked and saw Isaac. Then she jumped down from the camel. She said to the servant, who is that young man walking in the field to meet us? The servant said, that is my master's son. So Rebekah covered her face with her veil. The servant told Isaac everything that had happened. Then Isaac brought the girl into his mother's tent. Rebekah became his wife that day. Isaac loved her very much. So he was comforted after his mother's death. Genesis 25, Abraham's family. Abraham married again. His new wife was named Keturah. She gave birth to Zimram, Jokshan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan was the father of Sheba and Dedan. The people of Asher, Leum, and Letush were descendants of Dedan. The sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Henok, Abidiah, and Eldah. All these sons came from the marriage of Abraham and Keturah. Before Abraham died, he gave some gifts to his sons who were from his slave woman. He sent them to the east away from Isaac. Then Abraham gave everything he owned to Isaac. Abraham lived to be 175 years old. Then he grew weak and died. He had lived a long and satisfying life. He died and went to be with his people. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah. This cave is in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar. It was east of Mamre. This is the same cave that Abraham bought from the Hittites. He was buried there with his wife Sarah. After Abraham died, God blessed Isaac. Isaac was living at Beer Lahai Roi. This is the list of Ishmael's family. Ishmael was Abraham and Hagar's son. Hagar was Sarah's Egyptian maid. These are the names of Ishmael's sons. The first son was Nebaioth, then Kedar was born, then Abdil, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, and Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedema. These were the names of Ishmael's sons. Each had his own camp that had become a small town. 12 sons were leaders over their own people. Ishmael lived to be 137 years old, and he died and went to be with his people. His descendants settled throughout the desert area from Havilah to Shur. This area begins near Egypt and goes towards Assyria. Ishmael's people were often at war with other descendants of Abraham. Isaac's family. This is the story of Isaac. Abraham had a son named Isaac. When Isaac was 40 years old, he married Rebekah. Rebekah was from Padan Aram. She was Bethuel's daughter and the sister of Laban the Aramean. Isaac's wife could not have children, so Isaac prayed to the Lord for her. The Lord heard Isaac's prayer, and he allowed Rebekah to become pregnant. While Rebekah was pregnant, the babies inside her struggled with one another. She prayed to the Lord and said, what is this happening to me? The Lord said to her, the leaders of two nations are in your body. Two nations will come from you, and they will be divided. One of them will be stronger, and the other will serve the younger. When the right time came, Rebekah gave birth to twins. The first baby was red. His skin was like a hairy robe, so he was named Esau. When the second baby was born, he was holding tightly to Esau's heel, so that baby was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Jacob and Esau were born. The boys grew up. Esau became a skilled hunter who loved to be out in the fields, but Jacob was a quiet man who stayed at home. Isaac loved Esau. He liked to eat the animals Esau killed, but Rebekah loved Jacob. One day Esau came back from hunting. He was tired and weak from hunger. Jacob was boiling a pot of beans. So Esau said to Jacob, I'm weak with hunger. Let me have some of that red soup. That is why people call him red. But Jacob said, you must sell me your rights as the firstborn son. Esau said, I'm almost dead with hunger. So what good are these rights to me now? But Jacob said, first promise me that you will give them to me. So Esau made an oath to him and sold his rights as the firstborn son to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil soup. Esau ate the food, had something to drink, and then left. So Esau showed that he did not care about his rights as the firstborn son. Genesis 26. Isaac lies to Abimelech. Now there was a famine. This was like the famine that happened during Abraham's life. So Isaac went down to the town of Gerar to King Abimelech of the Philistines. The Lord spoke to Isaac and said, don't go down to Egypt. Live in the land that I commanded you to live in. Stay in this land and I will be with you. I will bless you. I will give you and your family all these lands. I will do what I promised to Abraham, your father. I will make your family as many as the stars of heaven, and I will give all these lands to your family. Through your descendants, every nation on earth will be blessed. I will do this because your father Abraham obeyed my words and did what I said. He obeyed my commands, my laws, and my rules. So Isaac settled in Gerar. His wife Rebekah was very beautiful. The men of that place asked Isaac about Rebekah. He said, she's my sister. He was afraid to tell them that Rebekah was his wife. Here we go again. He was afraid the men would kill him so that they could have her. After Isaac had lived there a long time, Abimelech looked out of his window and saw Isaac and his wife enjoying one another. Abimelech called for Isaac and said, this woman is your wife. Why did you tell us that she was your sister? Isaac said to him, I was afraid that you would kill me so that you could have her. Abimelech said, you've done a bad thing to us. One of our men might have had sex with your wife, and he would be guilty of a great sin. So Abimelech gave a warning to all the people. He said, no one must hurt this man or this woman. If anyone hurts them, they will be killed. Isaac becomes rich. Isaac planted fields in that place, and that year he gathered a great harvest. The Lord blessed him very much. Isaac became rich. He gathered more and more wealth until he became a very rich man. He had many flocks and herds of animals. He also had many slaves. All the Philistines were jealous of him, so they destroyed all the wells that Isaac's father Abraham and his servants had dug many years before. They filled them with sand. Abimelech said to Isaac, leave our country. You've become much more powerful than we are. So Isaac left that place and camped near the little river of Gerar. He stayed there and lived. Long before this time, Abraham had dug many wells. After he died, the Philistines filled the wells with sand. So Isaac went back and dug those wells again. He gave them the same names his father had given them. Isaac's servants also dug a well near the little river and found fresh water. But the men who herded sheep in the valley of Gerar argued with Isaac's servants. They said, this water is ours. So Isaac named that well Esek. He gave it that name because it was the place where they had argued with him. Then Isaac's servants dug another well, but there was an argument over this well too. So Isaac named that well Sitnah. Isaac moved from there and dug another well. No one came to argue about this well, so Isaac named it Rehoboth. He said, now the Lord has found a place for us. We will grow and be successful in this place. From there, Isaac went to Beersheba. The Lord spoke to him that night and said, I am the God of your father Abraham. Don't be afraid. I am with you, and I will bless you. I will make your family great, and I will do this because of my servant Abraham. So Isaac built an altar and worshiped the Lord in that place. He set up camp there, and his servants dug a well. Abimelech came from Gerar to see Isaac. He brought with him Ahuzah, his advisor, and Phicol, the commander of his army. Isaac asked, why have you come to see me? You were not friendly to me before. You even forced me to leave your country. They answered, now we know that the Lord is with you. We think that we should make an agreement. We want you to make a promise to us. We did not hurt you. Now you should promise not to hurt us. We sent you away, but we sent you away in peace. Now it is clear that the Lord has blessed you. So Isaac gave a party for them. They all ate and drank. Early the next morning, each man made a promise and a vow. Then the men left in peace. On that day, Isaac's servants came and told him about the well they had dug. The servants said, we found water in that well. So Isaac named it Sheba, and that is why the city is still called Beersheba. Esau's wives. When Esau was 40 years old, he married two Hittite women. One was Judith, the daughter of Beeri. The other was Basemath, the daughter of Elon. These marriages made Isaac and Rebekah very unhappy. This is the word of the Lord. Place that in the comment section and be sure to follow, like, share, and